before you do anything else, make sure you subscribe to In the Bayou podcast if you haven't already. Now let's get into it.
What about the Saints, man? What you think? What's your thoughts on the Saints right now, bro? And like you guys won but 5 games last year. I don't know where they're at right now, but they only won like 2. So like,
it's been a tough year for the Saints, man.
Yeah.
It's been a tough year. New coach, new players to a certain degree. Different systems, new systems, and I think it's really kind of taking them some time to kind of figure that out. I think the way the young kid Tyler played this past weekend, I think that gave them great hope.
I think it did too.
Because if he's able to play that way, then you know you have to build around him.
Right.
And so, I think that's the next step for the Saints, right? And the other part of it is, you got to get back to kind of developing your own players, man.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like, you got to get back to developing those 3rd, 4th, 5th round picks. Those guys are really the core of the team, special teams and different things like that. So it's like, how can you keep that?
Yeah, like that 2017 draft class, right?
I mean, that was crazy. Being able to hit on 5, 6 players in one draft.
Yeah.
I think, you got to get back to
something.
that. You got to get back to that, though.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard to build a team through free agency.
Right.
I mean, I'm pretty sure any GM would, tell you that. So, you got to look at the teams. Guys. You have to look at the team, the Kansas Cities and, the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Like, the reason these teams are good somewhat, right? And even the Ravens, right? Not this year, but years past, is like they've been able to draft and develop their own players that end up becoming critical pieces, 3-4 years down the line. Right. And so that's really the idea. That really should be the mindset is how do we build around Tyler Shough, right? And how do we develop our own players, right? And I think if they're able to get back to that, I think they're able to have, at least they'll be able to kind of, resemble. It's hard to be Drew Brees. I want to say that. Because how people is down here in the Bayou, man.
Bro, once we see a standard and it's good, Drew Brees up there.
Drew Brees was a once-in-a-lifetime talent.
Yeah.
I think it's time for us to move on and support Tyler.
Yeah, bro. And I think I seen a video this morning, like Ryan Clark was talking about like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, like Aaron Rodgers. He was talking about like who was like generational talents, because I mean, Tom Brady is not a generational talent. Like, he wasn't like a highly draft kid,
No.
He just worked his butt off and became who he is.
Yeah. I mean, generational talent, the only guys that I can really think of is like, from that perspective, is like a Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. Right. Because those guys got feet, arm. Right. They got the mental capacity.
There are things you really can't coach.
Right. But, every now and then you'll get Tom Brady or you'll get a Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Guys that's just, man, they could put that ball anywhere on the field.
Anywhere.
Right. And mentally,
high, low.
They can be decisive. Like that's the thing I look for, especially in young quarterbacks too. Right. It's not so much you making mistakes, but can you be decisive? Right. That's the difference. Right. Because if Tom Brady or Drew Brees is in a 2-minute drill, every throw they make is going to be decisive.
Yeah.
And so, that's really like the standard, or, if I was a quarterback's coach, that'll be one of the things I like harp on. Like, that's a big coaching point. It's like, I don't care where you throw the ball, but throw it. Be decisive in it. Yeah, man.
What you think about Kellen Moore, bro? His first season.
His first season. This is his first season. I played against him. I played against him when he was with Dallas. Played against him when he was with the Chargers. Obviously with the Eagles. So I always thought he was just a brilliant offensive mind. I think quarterbacks are special, man, because a lot of those guys, man, they just see the game in a different lens.
Right.
You know? So, but yeah, they just see it in a different lens, man.
Right. Oh man, so what you think the biggest changes have to be made, like, for them to be like have some success? Because we probably are like last in our division.
The biggest changes the Saints need to make?
Yeah. What's the biggest change you think they need to make? I mean, like you said, you have to draft well.
I think they made the change, right? I think, and there's no knock on Spence. I love him, right? But But I think going to the young kid, I think it gave that team some spark, man.
Yeah, I think it did.
You know, I think especially from a receiver standpoint, it's like because he's not scared to push the ball down the field.
Right.
And I think when you have, you know, the Chris Olaves and guys like that on your team, man, you got to be willing to throw the ball deep and keep them engaged in the game. Yeah. And I felt like, you know, this past weekend against the Panthers, man, like that was probably Olave's best game.
I was about to say, he was making tough catches. Having fun.
He had a ball. I mean, he had a blast. Like tough catches, critical catches, third down, red zones, and he doing all this on a pretty good cornerback.
Right.
And so that's the type of you know, enthusiasm that, you know, having a good quarterback, man, like, or having a decisive quarterback, that's what it brings out. It brings out that in all the other players around him.
I was gonna say, bro, he looked like he was having fun, dude. Fun.
He did. Which brings me to my next question. What's your, like, why did they trade Shaheed?
Man,
wasn't him and Chris like Batman and Robin?
Hey, bro, that's the vibe that I had got, like a Batman and Robin. Like, you do this good, I'm gonna do this good. We're gonna meet in the middle, and it's gonna all be good.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, bro. That Shaheed trade was kind of crazy, but maybe because Seattle is very thin at the wide receiver position. I think it made way more sense for them on their end than actually
Seattle is thin.
Yeah, they're pretty
Seattle is thin. But even from the Saints' perspective, right? It's, you know, we just talking about developing our own players, right? Building our team, right? And I think them being able to get those draft picks, I think they got like a 4th and a 6th rounder for them.
Yeah.
Like, now the Saints are able to go into the draft, you know, not with 4 picks, but now they got 6, right? And so, you know, but that's how you have to build your team, you know. And sometimes you got to make those type of tough decisions, man. And so, you know, obviously, I know, you know, especially my sisters, they love Shaheed, right? Like he's a fan favorite, but. You know, I think them being able to get that type of value back, you know, from a guy that was undrafted, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, he went on to be all pro and Pro Bowl, but to get that kind of value back for a guy that you didn't use a draft pick on, I think from a business perspective, you know,
important.
It was the only thing that they could have do to kind of
make some sense.
You know, salvage what's going forward. We need more draft picks.
Right.